Hi guys! It's a beautiful day once again and welcome back to Dexter's World channel. I've been very passionate about revealing all the secrets of our catfish breeding, and as a review, I always say that catfish breeding can be bred in a natural manner, and the process of breeding is not that difficult because you will just observe simple tips like use the rainwater and then separate the breeder catfish from male. You will have separate tank from the male and separate tank from the female. And then you will put them together in the breeding tank only during breeding season. So the separated male and female will have the eagerness to breed when they are seeing for the first time in the breeding tank. And that's essential. Another thing is that the fry care. We always say that the fry care needs some amount of live worm. This is the tubifex worm that I'm referring to. And this would be the content of this video. Many have asked me, including my private message. I received private messages in my emails. Dexter, please help us to improve our breeding system and the fry care. So the only answer that I gave them is that please know how to culture your tubifex worm. So the culture of tubifex worm would be the content of this video. So please watch this because 3-4 days ago I filmed a process, a DIY process on how to prepare a tank or a culture tank for the tubifex worm, and it's really very effective. So this process that I'm going to reveal to you now is one of the most practical, convenient, and effective method in so far as culture of the tubifex worm is concerned. So please watch this video. So guys, we will utilize this, we will recycle this styro box for the breeding and culture of our tubifex worm. So we're gonna wash this one thoroughly and you will see what we're gonna do here. So you will see that we already have 2 compartments. This one will be filled with stones so that we can utilize the drop of the water coming from the pond and of course from the filter box. So I will explain that later. So for the meantime, let's do this. So you guys can see here that we are using the fish pond, actually the water from the catfish, to culture our tubifex worm. And in the process you will see that the water from your pond of catfish will be an essential ingredient or essential material for the culture because this contains already of the ammonia that needed by the tubifex worm. And we are now seeing the process. Actually, it's not final yet, but the idea here is to put some box right there, put some filtration, stones, so that the drops of the water will be regulated, and then we will put the tubifex here inside for the massive culture. So you will see that this is filled with catfish, of course, and the water is already coming out from the filter bucket. So what we're gonna do now is to put some stones in the compartment, the first compartment that we have made. So come on, let's do this. Many have asked question, can you culture tubifex worm without starter? The answer is I really don't know, because in my experience I always have a few amount of tubifex worm such as this much for my starter. And this is an honest to goodness tutorial for the breeding of this tubifex worm, the culture, because this is the top secret of every breeder. Well, as a breeder, we have so many ways on how to culture the tubifex worm, and I already have many videos about it, but this one that I'm going to present to you now is the most practical and most effective way of culturing our tubifex worm. We know that tubifex worm is really very essential, especially if you're breeding live bearers, you're breeding goldfish, Japanese koi, Oscar fish, many others like the cichlids. They are really very essential in the breeding and in the business of ornamental fish, and much more in catfish breeding. So I am so overwhelmed by the result of this, because this is already a proven thing. This is not anymore a trial and error process. I always say that this is a trial and error process. You may also want to try this one, but this is the process that I am going to reveal to you now, or I have just revealed to you, is one of the most convenient, practical, and very effective way of culturing our tubifex worm. So there are few things that we have to remember. The first thing is that we will use the water in the fish pond. And maybe you will ask, Dexter, is it really necessary that we will use the water from the catfish pond? Well, in that particular aspect, I can tell you that any water from the pond, or any fish for that matter, you can use that. May it be goldfish, tilapia, may it be Japanese koi, and catfish. So what is important is that you will use the water in the fish pond. So you will also see that this is a very small tank, but the water of this tank is already passing through the filtration buckets. This one is already clean. So do not use directly the water from the pond without passing through the filtration system. We have to use water that's already clean so that our worm will survive. And you will see the small amount of worm, they will multiply in just 2, 3, or 4 days. You will see really the difference. The next question maybe that you will ask is about the food of our tubifex worm. Well, there are many foods for the tubifex worm, and I can say that you will really not have a problem about the food. You can feed wheat germ, but for purposes of this video, I would like to introduce to you another food for the tubifex worm, which is this one. We call this in Tagalog pandesal. This is a bread that's normally the breakfast of all Filipinos, pandesal. So we will put some, and then we will make a follow-up video after 3 days. So we will feed them with this pandesal. Of course, a small amount of it. just like that. Soak that with water, and then put that here on top of that. We'll soak it first. Just like that. As simple as that. So you have witnessed the process. We will now see the result. Come on, let's go. See, we have massive already of this tubifex worm. We only put a small amount of it. After 4 days, they are already massive. And I would like to tell you that our tubifex worm can eat a lot of things, a lot of scraps, kitchen scraps. But I opted to give them bread, and of course, one of the best is the wheat germ. So you can also give that to your wheat germ. So we will get some amount of this, and this is already good for feeding to our, see, very fresh and very tiny. Wow, you see? So we only place a small amount of it. After 4 days, look what happened. So we will now feed this to our catfish babies. Come on, let's go. So you will see, guys, that our catfish are massive here. We have a lot of catfish and thousands of catfish, baby catfish that I can see right here, but it's not yet very visible to the camera. But one thing that I can tell you for sure is that 2 weeks from now, we're gonna be counting hundreds of thousands of fingerlings of this catfish. So I hope, guys, this video will encourage you to do your ornamental fish breeding, tilapia breeding, catfish breeding, and other types of fish. And this is one of the top secret that I have revealed to you. And if you can breed your tubifex worm in this manner, I'm sure that you will not run short of food, live food for your baby fish. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you will continue to like and share this video, and shout out to the members of this channel. And we are actually close to 1.7 million, and we are so happy that after all these years, meaning after 7 years, we are still alive and kicking and getting stronger. So see you in my next video, only here at Dexter's World